Hi, welcome to Painting 101 Remastered. Now, we got our paint, we got our brushes, we know how to prime, we got everything that we need, well, except for one last thing that we really need to figure out. Workspace. Now, you can use a kitchen table, or if you have a studio, and if you see a lot of different videos and stuff like that, people have beautiful, beautiful studios. But hey, we're not professionals. So the main thing that you can do, of course, is lay down a mat or have some kind of laminate that you can lay down. But what I like to do for quick cleanup and a quick way to get it on the table, start painting, and be able to get it off the table without getting in trouble is to actually build a work table. No, I don't mean a work table that has stands on it and legs on it and stuff like that. I'm talking something as simple as taking and getting a drawing board that you can get at any hobby store, okay? And yeah, this one has clips, but that's really not going to get in our way for what we want to do. The nice thing about it is you can put it down on a table, work on it, and then take it off. But I like to do a few modifications to it before we really call it a work table. You want to have a place for your pens, you want to have a place for your water station, and of course your work area. Now, the best thing about this is you can keep everything on here and at least keep it, you know, be able to move it and not worry about everything flying off. So I'm going to show you how to build this up. What you're going to need is, if you go to your local hobby store, they usually have a thing called wood piles, and they're about $4.99. This drawing board was $12.99, but I had a 40% coupon that you always have at Hobby Lobby. The other thing I got was, I got these little, they almost look like chess pieces. And what they're going to do is they're going to be the stands for my brush holder that I'm going to build. So I'm going to show you how to do this. And let's get to it. I've already drilled some holes in here. And then all I'm going to do is drill this all in. And you can see that's one, and let's get the other 4 in there, and you'll see what I'm getting at. So we'll check back as soon as I'm done. Okay, as you can see, I have a nice flat board here, and then I took and I screwed in those posts so it holds up, so it actually looks like this. Now we'll finish this a little bit later, because what we're going to do is drill a bunch of holes in here so we can fit our brushes in it, and it gives it plenty of space so they sit nicely and they're not wobbling all over the place. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a little area right over here so we can fit our cleaning area. This is going to be our little cleaning area, so I'm going to get to work on that, and then I'll show you as soon as I'm done. Okay, the next part I made was a little box here so I can keep all my paints, so when I'm moving they're not going to go flying all over the place. And it's kind of good because you can keep an amount that you're using for that particular job. Now, I have a ton more paints than this, but at least I can keep them contained in the area and have an idea of what I'm going to use for this entire job. So now, as you can see, what I've got here is everything worked out here in a pretty big work area. Now, what I'm going to do with this clip here, and the reason I got a drawing board like this, was that with this clip, I'm going to take a little piece of laminate here, and what I'll do is I'll make that my workstation, more or less, as far as mixing paints, thinning paints out. That way I'm not damaging the board. So I'll use some laminate, or you can use some real good box tape, the clear kind. You could just make a little area, because then you can just clear it right off. Or you can tape down the laminate. It's really up to you on what you think. So there you go, we pretty much have that. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to make a whole bunch of holes so we can carry a whole bunch of brushes on our little workstation. And that will be done with the top part of this. So let's get the drill and start taking care of that. Okay, I know we came back inside, but there was something I wanted to show you guys before the end of this video and kind of squeeze this in the middle. Now, in that bag comes a bunch of wood, and as you saw, we built that really nice area so it gives you plenty of room, and you could just pick it up in a heartbeat, have a nice little pallet there where you can work on. But they also come with some extra pieces of wood, and the reason this is good to keep a piece of wood with your table is because if you're doing a bunch of miniatures, let's just say that you're doing some Battletech here, and you want to paint them all the same color, well, all you do is just take a little tack or some putty and just put them all on there like that. Then you can just paint like this and paint in a row, and it'll help you go a little quicker because you can turn it from side to side and you can get your brush in there, or maybe even space it a little bigger depending on how big your hands are. But by taking a little tack, or maybe even using this as a you can use it to prime and then just leave them tacked on there and just work from here. It really helps, and it keeps everything nice and condensed so you don't have miniatures all over the place. But you know, I use this especially when I'm doing an assembly line where I have the same figure like 9 different times and I need to get them all done. I'll put all one color on, then another color on, and then another color on. And this is perfect, especially it'll fit with your workstation because it'll just slide right up where we drilled everything in. Let's go back outside and see what else I did, and let's finish up so we can be done. So now, as you can see, I've got an area where I drilled in my, hey, what's up, dog? I keep my brushes. I drilled a bunch of holes in the top here. We got an area for our wash area, an area for our paint. We have a good work area here. Now I'm left-handed, so it makes it easier having it on this side, but you can tailor it to however you want. Now the only last thing that we really need to do, and that is we put some screws in the back here, as you can see. So we really don't want to put that on the kitchen table. We want to be able to put this down and pick it up. So what we're going to do is turn this upside down and over. And then basically what we want to accomplish here is, with some felt, we want to make sure that we cover all those screw holes. Now, like I've said before, I've got this really neat thing that I got, and what I could do is just cover that and just cut off all the excess. It has a nice soft bottom, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this on and then just cut around it, and that'll keep those screws from scratching the table, which is very important because you don't want to have anything ruin anything that you do, and you want to keep your area very condensed so you can take this and do it anywhere. You could do it on a TV stand or anything, you know, as long as you have protection on the bottom. And as you can see, everything fits in a nice spot so it doesn't slide all over the place, and then you have complete control of your work area. And that's the most important thing, is to have complete control of your work area and your puppy dog, right? Yeah. So I'm going to finish this up, and that's it for this week. We've got our work area all taken care of. We have our paint, we have our brushes, we have our primer. Now maybe it's time that we take a look at how we store the figures after we paint them. Stay with me next week for another Painting 101, showing beginners how to do painting and enjoy the wonderful hobby that we have. Until next time, I'm Rob Oren. You guys have a great week, and I'll see you soon.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.